I had been widowed. A mutual friend of ours said, you know, Connie, your son thinks that it would be nice if you could start going out, if you could go to plays and musicals and get out a little bit more and be social. So anyway, he asked a friend of his, did he know anyone? And he said, yes, exactly. I know just the guy. So when Dan would come in to get his custom suits made, he would say to him, Dan, I've got a woman I think you two would really hit it off well. And he would say, I'm not interested. Well, one time he came in and he said, what did you say this woman's name was? And so he told him, and we met for dinner. It was a blind date at that point in my life. And then I met him again when I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting. I saw this man waving at me across the room, and it was Dan, and he came right over and he said, today's July 3rd. There's going to be fireworks. Would you want to go out tonight? And then we can do something July 4th. And I said, sure. So that really started our whole life together.
Mr. Happy Living here, and I'm happy to be broadcasting from WITV7 in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. Hey, friends, please join me for a minute and try to imagine how great you'd feel living the unique and distinct life you were put on this planet to live, doing work you love, with people you love, in places you love, and all the while creating something of real value for others. That's what I call a life of significance, and I can tell you it makes for a very happy life. And so can Connie Smigiel. She's my guest star today, and she's here to share her unique and distinct journey to her life of significance. Hey, Connie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Matt. I'm happy to be here.
Well, why don't you get us started, Connie, by telling us what you're doing these days to make your mark of significance on the world?
Well, I tell you, Matt, for over 24 years, my life partner and I, Dan Starks, we were teaching all over the world safety and awareness classes, seminars on self-defense, and just basic awareness issues. And my Dan passed away 14 months ago. And what happened, I just realized when he died suddenly that I need to put my business on hold, Matt, for a while and reorganize my own personal life. It happened so fast. And so I had so many responsibilities to handle and take care of. So virtually all those months, Matt, I was, having auctions. I was, I was getting a lot of my personal items auctioned off. Dan had a huge collection. I had to face that. Things that I would have never planned on doing, but knew that that was the time to do it. So consequently, I went through all the dot to dot. And it was so amazing, Matt. Every time I turned around and I had a specific item or project that I had to handle, God sent me the most beautiful people. My friends all stepped in, all at individual incremental times to help me with each individual situation that I was dealing with. And so I got through that, and I discovered that I had a life change in that process. And with all the responsibilities that I had, and during this process, I actually continued to encounter many uplifting people that took me to the next level of grieving and working through my situation. And then, I realized that it was my time and that my life purpose needed to be more defined. And it became very apparent to me, Matt, that all of this was sort of in the rearview mirror, if you will.
Yeah.
And I needed to go forward with my career and my life and my passion. And so obviously I knew that I wanted to continue our business and just formulate it in my own kind of a concept. Dan was the brand. I needed to rebrand myself, if you will, and come at it from, we had it both from a male and female viewpoint. But I needed, now that I'm alone, to come forward, from a female attitude. So consequently, that's what I've been doing. And I've upgraded a lot of my training materials. I've done a lot of research and, just really planning out the next phase of how I'm going to take it.
Very good. I know it's got to be a long, hard journey, but at a certain time, it's time to move on. And the heart still aches a little bit, but it's exciting, isn't it, to get started fresh and new?
Oh my goodness, yes, it's like an etch-a-sketch. You just, it's a cleansing, and this is a life process, and we need to accept it. And so I just had to recreate the wheel, I guess. So that's basically what I've done. I've just usurped all of my knowledge and all of my background, and basically upgrading it to the times that we're in now. It's forever changing. And so if you don't stay on top and alert of everything that's changing around you, you don't want to be behind.
Correct. Our younger listeners, you'll have to Google Etch-a-Sketch. It was a fun game. Okay, Connie. Okay, now let's do a little mathematics so our friends all around the World Wide Web can get to know you through our happy formula. It's a simple but powerful equation, and it goes like this: power plus purpose equals happy. So let's start with power. Connie, what do you do on a regular basis to create all the power you need to take really good care of yourself and your loved ones and still have plenty left over to be a giver to others?
Mentally, I prepare myself to be strong and to stay organized. I've got my little yellow pad, which I couldn't live without. And, you just start prioritizing your life daily and, trying to stay in the moment, stay focused, and, just keep planning your work, working your plan, and evolving at a spiritual level where I'm just so guided, and I'm so grateful to take me, forward.
One of the things I've discovered about power and energy is the difference between finite power that comes from earthly things like physical fitness, mental fitness, financial fitness. When you use those things, the energy gets drained and it has to be replenished. But spiritual energy is infinite. It's like love. It is love. And the more you use it never ends.
No, it's never ending.
Talk about a little bit of the difference that you feel and how you can get powered up in spiritual energy so that you're just like on fire all the time.
Yeah, and I'm so enthusiastic and I so believe in what I do. And you just have to sit back and be quiet and wait sometimes for these epiphanies to come to you.
Yeah.
And to move forward. And then, of course, with a revenue stream, this is something else. This is the flip side of the coin that's always apparent. You want to increase your revenue stream, through your work. And, just so you can, become more self-sufficient as you age. And I don't want to be dependent on family or whatever. And I've always been independent and I pride myself on it. And so we just have to figure out a way on how, we're just going to get to that point.
Awesome. I love it. All right, Connie, now let's dive into my favorite power generating concept. It's called a Kaizen state of mind. And it's this beautiful Japanese idea that small incremental improvements add up over time to yield great big results. And I love it because it's based on mindset, not circumstance. Kaizening life is knowing there's always something I can do better tomorrow than today. It creates this optimistic, gentle, but powerful and continuously uplifting of my life day after day after day. So, Connie, how does Kaizening your life help you increase your power to continuously become more so you can continuously give more?
Well, I tell you this, I never stop learning. I never stop believing in myself. I want to always improve so that I can relate effectively to all of my students, certainly my friends and my family. I just think that it's a journey. And, it's sort of acquiring rocks on a pile, and then suddenly you've got a beautiful pyramid. And it's something that's ongoing, and it's something that you need to focus on in the moment. And self-improvement and growth and learning. I think this is also important. And, through the safety and awareness classes, again, I've just sort of stayed so on top of everything that's happening today. Learning more and more through growth and understanding and applying whatever is in our culture to the kinds of reaction that we need to teach in our classes for self-awareness and self-defense. I think that's another important part of the process.
Let's explore now purpose, the second element of our happy formula. And Connie, I've discovered that major life transformations, that real big discovery of purpose often, sadly, comes from devastation, addiction, abuse, disease, death, disaster. Something awful strips a life to its core, resulting in a big change. However, in my book, Turning Inspiration into Action, I shared the transformational process that I've used to discover my purpose using inspiration. So how about you, Connie? Was there a specific moment or event or crisis or inspiration that revealed to you the purpose you were meant to live?
Well, to be honest with you, Matt, I was in second grade, and I'm digressing here. My father was what they called a troubleshooter, and Mother and Daddy moved around a lot throughout the Midwest. And Daddy would go into all these various branches that he worked. He worked for a large company. Go into the different branches and assess, build them up financially, hire the right kinds of people, train the right people, etc. So consequently, I was moving around quite a bit when I was young. And we'd go to a new neighborhood, we'd move into the house, and my mother, who was very gregarious, she would say to me, well, Connie, there's children in the neighborhood. Why don't you go out and introduce yourselves to them? Well, so I did. And, I probably I was in second grade when we moved to this one particular Kenosha, Wisconsin, actually, where I would go through the neighborhood, and I met a lot of lovely families, and they would invite me on Sundays to go to church with them and to meet them. And one particular family down the street, they had 10 children, and they lived in a very small home. The mother was sad, I always remember, and their house was very dark, but I loved her. And her daughter and I were very good friends. Well, Christmas rolled around, and she had a tree with no ornaments. So we did an art class where we would make ornaments for our Christmas trees. Mm-hmm. So I found the most glittery ornaments, items that I could put on my ornament to decorate it. And so I thought, well, I'll make these glittery ornaments so that they'll shine and glitter, and they'll light up her tree and make it look pretty. So I made all of these ornaments, took them over to her, and I went in and I showed her the ornaments, put them on her little tree, and she started to cry. And she said, Connie, I've never had an ornament on my tree before. And these are so beautiful. Thank you so much. You have made me so happy. And consequently, I was absolutely delighted, and I was happy too to share what I thought she would enjoy, and she did. And it sounds a little trite, but I just always loved making people happy, trying to analyze their situations so that I could maybe make it better for them. I've been a life coach and an international headhunter all my life, finding people's jobs. I would have desperate people come to me that had been laid off. Connie, I've got college kids in school, or my wife is going to leave me if I don't get a better job, or whatever. And so I really would get down in the weeds with these people and find out what they truly wanted out of their life through an interview process. And really, they were so amazed that they could find other things that they maybe thought they couldn't do, or wouldn't be quite in their wheelhouse, and adapt it. and they could go on and get a much better paying job, and they had confidence. And it was so wonderful to match them up with great job openings and change their lives.
Well, let's talk quickly about two big transformations you went through. One, going from your own career to meeting Dan and then getting into this self-defense business and his business. That must have been a big change. And so talk about what that was like, because this show is all about discovering your purpose and then transitioning into that. So how did you transition into the self-defense business and the supportive Dan business? And then what happened after he passed and you're going through this last 18 months or so? And then when did you decide you're going to launch it again and you're going to redo it in your image?
Well, I have to tell you, we were being in the safety and awareness business. Dan was the #1 NRA instructor in America. I happened to be an only child growing up with a father that loved to go hunting and fishing and this and that. So I was so used to being in that kind of an environment, #1. Well, as I evolved and then I relocated from Michigan down here to Charlotte, I became the advertising and sales director for Creative Loafing. And I had my team of salespeople. And, so I was very heavily involved with finding new clients, adding to the newspaper, building the revenue, being #1 in the Southeast, hiring a lovely team of wonderful young people to take the paper forward and be ultimately successful. And during this time, I had been widowed, and a mutual friend of ours said, Connie, your son thinks that it would be nice if you could start going out, if you could go to plays and musicals and get out a little bit more and be social. So anyway, he asked a friend of his, did he know anyone? And he said, yes, exactly. I know just the guy. So when Dan would come in to get his custom suits made, he would say to him, Dan, I've got a woman that is widowed, and I think you two would really hit it off well. And he would say, I'm not interested. Well, one time he came in and he said, what did you say this woman's name was? And so he told him, and we met for dinner. It was a blind date at that point in my life. And then I met him again when I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and he was set up in his booth and everything. Well, I saw this man waving at me across the room, and it was Dan, and he came right over and he said, today's July 3rd. There's going to be fireworks. Would you want to go out tonight? And then we can do something July 4th. And I said, sure. So that really started our whole life together. I mean, it was almost like love at first sight. And Dan was sort of floundering, I think, at that point, and not really sure which way he wanted to go with his career. And after we talked, and here I put my recruiter hat on again, I told him, Dan, you are absolutely perfect for the safety and awareness industry. So he had a lot of background in that. And so we just tweaked it and studied and evolved, and he was involved in it, but we just blew it. We just blew it up. He was recruited by NBC, ABC, and CBS for a show. And Dan decided to go with NBC for his Don't Be a Victim series. And then he was invited to do Stark's Reality on WBT Radio, which was absolutely fantastic. And the people we met, the experience that we gained through all of this, it was absolutely amazing. And then one day Dan got a phone call. And it was quite a thick, foreign accented gentleman on the phone. Well, he hung up on him because he thought it was a prank. Well, it turned out to be Sir George Popper from Budapest for Knights of Malta. And he said, Dan, I've been following you and Connie on the internet over here in Europe. We see what you do to help people save lives, train them, and we would love to come and knight you in Charlotte. So they came over and actually knighted us. And it was one of the most amazing experiences in our lives. And to feel that we would have that kind of recognition for pouring our love out to all of our students and families and everything else all those years. I just can't tell you how moving and how rewarding it was for us.
Wonderful.
And we never stopped, through all of the seminars and the trainings and everything else. We thousands and thousands of people, Matt, have come through our classes, and we were so blessed helping them. And they just gave us rave reviews and thanked us so much for helping them.
Very good. So just give us 30 seconds on your advice for getting over a major loss like losing Dan 18 months ago and getting restarted. What's your best advice for anybody going through that right now?
Well, first of all, I think you need to draw yourself in and be quiet and think about your situation, what you've been through. You don't want to wallow in your sadness. You have your whole beautiful life ahead of you. And, it's just meant to be in life to lose loved ones. And some suffer more than others. But I just had this epiphany that I truly believed in myself. I had acquired all of this wonderful relationship and love and training from Dan that we built the business with. And I just decided to, find my life purpose, define it, and realize that what I was doing was my life purpose. And I certainly wanted to continue down that same path.
Very good. Great advice. All right, Connie, let's take a quick commercial break for our sponsor to spread a little love with our audience. Mr. Happy Living here. I love good things made by good people. That's why I love Dry Farm wines. They've transformed my drinking experience with sugar-free, lower alcohol, lab-tested natural wine. It's only grown on small family farms with respect for nature and using regenerative agriculture. You can literally taste the difference. It's naturally delicious. And it's super important because the quality of the food we eat and the wine we drink makes up the quality of our life. Go to happyliving.com, select Partners in Happy, and get your first bottle of natural wine for 1 penny. Share the gift of natural wine and pour some love this holiday season. And we're back, and this is a Something Significant show, and I'm your host, Matt Gersper. And my special guest star today is Connie Smigiel. Her beloved life partner, Dan Starks, died nearly 2 years ago. He was the CEO of Starks Training Institute, where they worked together side by side for years. After taking some time off from her business to grieve, she's back and continuing to provide the safety and awareness seminars and community services that the Starks brand is known for. Connie likes to remind people that Dan would always say, remember, it's your choice, don't be a victim. Oh, Connie, I do love that. And I think you're going to love this article I found on livescience.com. It's called The Science Behind the Power of Giving. And it says the act of giving itself can be a gateway to discovering your reason for being on the planet. It tells how science supports the idea that giving one's time and talents and treasures is a powerful pathway for discovering purpose and overcoming difficulties and finding fulfillment and meaning in life. So I updated our formula. Power plus purpose plus giving equals really happy. So what do you think, Connie? Has giving your time and talents and treasures been a pathway for discovering your purpose, or helping you get past difficulties you've faced, or for bringing real meaning into your life?
Well, all of the above, Matt. It's again, it's a package. And, you have to empower yourself to help empower other people. You have to believe in yourself so they'll believe in themselves. I'm always offering seminars and training sessions, and we do breakaway moves also for self-defense and awareness techniques. And, it's just a continuance of learning, connecting with other people, people finding me finding them in simple conversations, and just connecting with everyone and giving them my absolute all.
And you learned this, sounds like starting way back in the second grade with the Christmas ornament for your neighbor friend.
That is so true.
Yeah. And so science tells us that giving to others helps bring real meaning to our lives. And that feeling of that comes from our fourth element of significance, doing work that creates value for others, that confirms it. But there's something even more to it than just the giving, I think. And I can feel it deep in my spirit, Connie. It's when you're giving from living in your purpose, that's where you find the real magic of life. So
That's very true.
the audience and I would like to experience how it makes you feel to be happily living your life and giving to others through this work that you were put on this planet to do, and the people all around you have taken notice. So please sit back for a moment, open your heart, and have a listen to what people are saying about the impact that you're making on their lives by finding the magic of purpose in your life. One person told me, if Connie says the sky is Carolina blue, you can take it to the bank. Another said, Connie is a gift, and I've been blessed with her presence in my life. Another, she's a wonderful, loving, and caring woman who was meant to be here in a time such as this. Others said, an amazing lady. She has a steadfast dedication to ensuring the security and well-being of individuals, organizations, our brave servicemen and women, and our nation as a whole. I'm so fortunate to have such a soul in my life. I call her my surrogate mom. She loves to laugh, loves to ride horses, loves to travel. She's a wonderful companion and definitely my soul sister. Inspiring, determined, with a passion for teaching people safety and awareness. Trustworthy, genuine, humble, and warm-hearted, a true caregiver. Resilient, realistic, with a spirit of selfless service. Graceful, positive, a beautiful woman inside and out. Intuitive, empathetic, loving, she never met a stranger. Relentless, devoted, involved and supportive, ready to jump in at a moment's notice. Strong, caring, I consider her family. Whenever I need advice or guidance, I know Connie will point me in the right direction. She's personally experienced so many different and unique things in life, and as a result, she's able to share valuable life lessons and insights. Her generous heart is out there for everyone she meets. Connie was an amazing mentor for my son. She's filled with a joy and upbeat energy that's contagious. A fierce advocate for Dan during her health challenges, resembling a protective mother bear, or perhaps more aptly, a determined barracuda. Connie has an unyielding commitment to upholding what is right, fair, and equitable. Her passion for service, coupled with her compassionate and tireless advocacy, makes her an exemplary individual and a true testament to the values she holds dear as a proud citizen of the United States. A woman who is needed now with her depth of hope during these troubled times. And finally, your son said, she's truly the best, and because of her, I too live my life and treat others the way she's shown me. I certainly wouldn't be the successful man I am without her wisdom, love, and encouragement. So, Connie, how does all that love from your tribe make you feel?
Oh, my love tribe. I tell you, Matt, I love and adore all of my precious son, all of my dearest friends, my dearest clients. They've turned into my friends. It truly is a love tribe, Matt. And I'm thrilled. It makes my heart sing to hear those accolades. And I'm so proud of all my friends, and I'm so happy that I've been able to convey all my love and support and what knowledge I could offer them through all of our times together, all of our friendships. And I'm truly blessed. I truly am.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And that's what this show is all about. It's finding that magic in each of our lives. And it's available for everyone. That's what I believe anyways, Connie. And it comes from this great big happy circle. Giving your time and talents and treasures is a powerful pathway for discovering your purpose. And giving from living in your purpose brings a profound joy to your life.
Absolutely.
And to the lives of those around you. That's the amazing part. It seems that giving leads to purpose, and giving from purpose leads to joy. So to capture the exponential power of our happy formula, Connie, let me tweak it just a little bit more. Power times purpose times giving equals happy to the third power, and that's really, truly, deeply happy. Does that sound about right to you?
It sounds to me like the perfect scientific equation.
Too happy.
It's spiritual. It's intangible. You've got to have it to live it, to feel it, and to give it.
Yeah. Very good. All right, Connie, let's wrap things up with a lightning round. I love the power of words and the capacity for great quotes to change lives. So I'm going to read a few of my favorites and have you tell us what they mean to you. And Connie, give us the first thing that comes to mind because it's called a lightning round. So here we go. This is from Rorian Gracie. And he says, self-defense is not just a set of techniques. It's a state of mind that begins with the belief that you are worth defending.
Absolutely. It's a way of life. It's a mindset. It's something that you have to prepare yourself for. It's not a dress rehearsal when you become a victim. And with our proper training, you have to be totally aware of your surroundings. You have to learn how to recognize a situation, respond appropriately, and resolve it. And those are the 3 R's: recognize, respond, resolve. That's our mantra. And we have always taught that. And I think if you can take that, coupled with certainly knowing yourself, knowing your limitations, and knowing what you are going to do if a negative situation would arise. You need to have all of this prepared in your heart, your spirit, and your mind, and your body to react accordingly. And this is what Dan and I always tried to instill in all of our students, and to have that strong belief system in yourself that you can do it. You will not be bullied.
Yeah, good stuff. This is from your beloved Dan Starks. He said, remember, it's your choice. Don't be a victim.
Well, it is true. You have to keep that mindset. And, people would sometimes say, well, I don't want to be a victim. Well, no, of course you don't want to be a victim. And when he would say, well, remember, it is your choice. But it's our choice, to make sure that we know how to defend ourselves, and to know how to defend our family. And if we choose not to do that, and a negative situation should come up and arise, well, then it was your choice.
Yeah, choice by omission.
Exactly.
This is from 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control.
Well, God gave us free will, and God gave us our minds and our spirits, and the self-will will determine how we navigate through our lives. Yeah. And truly, it's really up to us. God has given us all the tools. Yeah. It's up to us to recognize these tools, be grateful for the tools, and to go ahead and enact these tools when we need to.
Yeah, very good. This is from Robert Greene. He said, mastery is not a function of genius or talent. It's a function of time and intense focus applied to a particular field of knowledge.
Well, and as they say, Matt, practice makes perfect. And I think the more we practice, the more refined we become, the more confident we become. And during that whole process, it elevates our spirit, and it just elevates our being. So we live in a negative world. It's unfortunate. We sometimes allow this negativity to take over. But I feel that we just need to stay positive, feel purposeful, and just continue on our life path, and try just to have the most laser focus as we possibly can to navigate.
Yeah, one of the fastest ways to overcome sadness and difficulty and all that is to do something kind for someone.
Well, absolutely. And you can't be a Debbie Downer and feel sorry for yourself. You've got to take all of that, recognize it, and give freely to other people, recognizing their shortcomings or their needs or where they're hurting,
Yeah.
and to recognize the hurt. And how can you help them feel better?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. This one's from St. John of the Cross. He says, "You might quiet the whole world for a second if you pray. And if you really love, our guns will wilt."
Oh, well, love conquers all. And we just need to move up spiritually in our life. It's not that hard. I think it's a realization, and I think it's something that many people need to be taught. A lot of people don't need to be taught. It's there already for them. But there's so many different kinds of personalities here on our planet, and we just have to really believe in ourselves, recognize some of our frailties, recognize where we really want to be in our life, and make it purposeful and make us focus so that we can rise above it all.
Yeah, very good. This is the show anchor. It's from Goth. And he says, "Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now."
Well, we can manifest anything if we truly meditate or think upon it. I'm a firm believer of good, better, best within all of us. And it's a recognition, it's a self recognition. And we have to want to move forward and elevate ourselves. It's a choice. It's a personal choice. And we have examples all around us. And if we choose to move up and be loving and giving and make it more hopeful for mankind through our own deeds, no matter how small, I think that's where it needs to start.
And now, folks, it's your chance to be a giver too. If you can hear my voice and you are inspired by today's show with Connie Smigiel, won't you please share a little love with our incredible broadcast team by giving what you can to WITV7? They're a 501c3 charity on a mission to educate, empower, and encourage. They do good works with your kindness. Connie, I love your commitment to serve others by offering them love and understanding and support and individual attention. And I admire your resilience and determination to continue at Dan's legacy of keeping people informed, empowered, and equipped with self-defense training, techniques, and education. And I'm super happy that you've shared your positive and upbeat and kind-hearted spirit on our show today. Will you take a minute or two and share any parting remarks you'd like to leave with our audience?
I think that we need to respect ourselves. And so through that, we will respect others. We need to love ourselves and love others. It's not rocket science. I think that we all need to do better in this life. But I think that we need to remember that life is a gift. That's why they call it the present. And so I say, go unwrap the ribbon and live your best life.
Thank you, Connie. And I also want to thank WITV7 for hosting and promoting our show so we can keep interviewing inspiring guest stars like Connie and reaching folks just like you ready to create your own extraordinary lives. And most especially, thank you, viewers and listeners. You'll find links to social media and all things Connie Smigiel. Find her, friend her, learn all about the Starks Training Institute. Just go to danstarks.com. That's DANSTARKS.com. One more time, danstarks.com. From me to you, dear friends, I love you and I want you to be really, truly, deeply happy too. So go to happyliving.com right now and take our happy quiz, because measuring your happy helps you focus your attention on it, and focusing attention on it attracts change and learning and improvement all to flow right into your life. And once you take the quiz, and it only takes a minute, then please give some thought to what we can do together, you and me, to improve the happy of your world, one person at a time. Till next time, I'm Matt Gersper. You are awesome, and this is the Something Significant Show.